So kind of quick, I wanted to reference the video that I did about Narcissist, because that was kind of quick and kind of in the moment, if you will. A thought came into my mind. I did a video. I threw it out there. I didn't put a lot of thought into it. And, you know, people can really suffer in an identity death when they come to a realization that they're with somebody like this. And so I don't want to be insensitive to that, first of all. Second of all, I wanted to give you a little bit of a reference point and to my background. And I mentioned that I dated a narcissist when I was really young. I was 19 years old. He was likely a psychopath, maybe a sociopath, more likely a psychopath. He actually ended up in prison for beating somebody almost to death and shooting him in the head while they were laying in the fetal position. There were several other people there, and nobody stood up because they were afraid. At the time, you know, I was young. I didn't know what to do, and he was actually on the run for about a year and a half, and he was very verbally and physically abusive, and you know, I'm lucky to be alive, and I know that, and I honestly don't know that I've ever really said that. But you know, my son said to me, "Mom," because I said, "Yeah, you know, I kind of threw that out there, and we were talking about it," and he had a comment on there, and he has a bunch of statistics because he's very introspective and he's super smart, and I'm very lucky to have 3 amazing boys. And he just said this tonight. He said, if it can save one person from having to suffer, then you need to tell the story. And I went, oh. I just, it's something I just don't talk about. It's like it wasn't my life. But it was, and it's okay because it made me who I am. There's a lot of moving parts. So it's really hard for me to dissect and figure out like where to start and how to explain it, because there's the pieces of understanding what to look for and how to identify and how to get through it and then how to get out of it. Man, it's a lot. It's not a 5-second conversation. I can't do it on one quick video. And we were talking about this, and he said, well, you know, I'm willing to help however I can. I mean, he said, I do think that there's a lot of people out there, and we saw the comments. I mean, my message boxes filled up, my phone blew up, and I was like, whoa, like apparently there is a pretty good size need for this conversation. But I do want to make the definite distinction between personality disorders. I said narcissist, and but the person that I dealt with when I was young, there was a lot more to it. This person had 0 empathy. I mean, they're the kind of people that can just slit your throat. They will just discard you, and not the kind of discard that's a narcissist does, because a narcissist can feel a little bit of guilt or shame. And it's more about their guilt and shame. It's still selfish, but they can feel it. But a psychopath does not have that ability. It does not exist. And the difference between psychopath and sociopath, I mean, psychopaths are born and sociopaths are made. And so there are a lot of different personality disorders. So look into those. If you're dealing with somebody like this on any level, get to know what that is. Erase your whatever search stuff. I'd call somebody to figure that out if you have to. You just don't want to get into a position where you taunt somebody or you trigger somebody that is physically dangerous. So anyways, I really just want to make the distinction between those and explain that I did not mean to just throw a video out there that was could have been very insensitive, because when you find out, people can flip out. You know, I mean, they can feel like my whole identity, my whole reality is different, because now I know that person cannot change. They're not capable of changing. I can't change them. So when I say that in a generic way, you can't change them, so don't try, and don't be dumb, and don't date a narcissist, I don't mean that in a condescending way at all. And nobody mentioned it. It's just, when I watched it, I thought, I wouldn't want to hear it that way. And I do remember finding that out, and I do remember it being very devastating. And it was devastating again this time because I did give it more than one try. And when I knew, the moment I knew I was for sure dealing with a narcissist at the bare minimum, I mean, they could also follow the directions, but I would say for sure a narcissist. It didn't feel good. And then I tried because I thought, oh, it's a moment. Like I said, we make excuses. It's a moment. It's this, it's that. And then I went, oh, it's not any of those things. And when I did that, I went, oh, that means I have to 100% let go. You know that you have to just cut the ties. There's no option. There's no going backwards. That's it, because you just can't talk to them again, because they'll just try to hurt you, basically. I mean, or make you feel sorry for them, oh, poor them. They're going through this with that person, or something's happening, or they use you. They'll use you to further something going on in their life, or if they need help with something, they'll ask you for that help, right? And then discard you again. So you don't want to deal with that, and don't let yourself get hurt over and over if you don't have to. And I don't mean that in a callous way. I just get help, talk to a friend. I don't want to send anybody down a path of depression because they find out that they're living with a narcissist. That's worse. And I don't want to put somebody in danger that just blurts out that somebody might be a psychopath or sociopath. That could be dangerous. So get help. Anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought it was really important. And we'll follow up and talk a little bit more about some of these other details, because there's so much more to it. There's a little piece about being a victim and a victor, and that's great. It's great to be victorious, and it's great to get past something and not be the victim. But there's another side of it, and then that's the villain that you can become in being a victor. And there's a lot to that. So I've never heard it talked about anywhere before, but I really would like to dive into that because I think it's really important, because it can hurt other people as well. So anyways, till next time.